Hello friends, this video is the continuation of the earlier one. So in earlier video we had finished the chapter, so we will look for the revision part in this video. So to proceed with, we'll start from the beginning, the definition of federalism. Federalism is a system of government in which power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units. So this means federalism is a form of government where the power of the governance is distributed among its various constituents, various institutions under it. For example, in a classroom, if we have a monitor or a class teacher will assign the work to the monitors or the subject teachers. In this way, the power and the responsibility is divided. It also helps in the functioning of the school properly. In similar way, the power and responsibility of the central government is divided into state and local government in order to ensure that the school or the governance functions smoothly. Then moving ahead, we will see the various levels of government in the federation. So usually we have two levels, but in a country like India, which is very vast, there are three levels of government. One is the central, then another state, and another local. Central government is for the entire country, and the topics or the subjects it deals with are of national importance, like the current COVID crisis, the announcement of lockdown, or the announcement of relaxation from lockdown, opening and closing of all the shops, such things which will affect the whole nation. Such decisions are taken by the central government. And in state government, like few state government have independent powers in few subjects. For example, if the central government has asked to end the lockdown by 3rd of May, there are some states who are wanting to extend the lockdown because the condition in their state is critical. So even the state have the individual power and authority in the matter of governance. So in such case, the power is solely given to the state government. So power is usually divided into three types in our country: the central, the state, and the local. Now we will talk about the key features of a federal government. So every level of government is powerful. It has mainly three levels. All the three levels work for the people. As we are a democratic country, people are our main concern. They are the main stakeholders. So in all the levels, they have their boundaries, jurisdictions, according to which they work. The fundamental provisions, all the provisions in this fundamental setting cannot be changed. So one level alone cannot interpret or cannot amend the constitution or the rules. It has to take consent or it has to take permission from both the levels of government. The courts have the power to interpret the constitution. That means they understand the rule, they compare the rule with the constitution, and they can collaborate with all the three levels of the government. The highest court, which we know is the Supreme Court, it is the mediator, it is the umpire which tackles the disputes between different levels of government. There might be dispute between a state and a central, a local and state, or a local and central. In such cases, the Supreme Court becomes the umpire and resolves the issue. The source of revenue, that is tax, for each level is also clearly mentioned in the constitution, and all the governments have their different finance or the different autonomy in it. Moving ahead, federal government has two objectives. The first objective is to promote unity At the same time, it has to make people understand about the diversity part of our country. So even though we are having such a wide range of cultural differences in our country, religious differences, regional differences, yet we all live together. So such a kind of arrangement federalism has to enforce on people, that different type of people having different cultural background, they stay together united. So these are the two main aspects. One is to safeguard and promote unity, at the same time to accommodate the regional diversity. So the governments of all levels, whether state, central or local, has to come into some kind of agreement. They should mutually trust each other. That is the only way the government can function smoothly. So types of federation, we have two types of federation, mainly coming together and holding together. So in coming together federations, small individual states or constituents, they come together to form a big country. So they club all their resources, club their powers, and they emerge as a single country in order to increase their identity and security. Example, USA, Switzerland and Australia. And then we have another type of federation which is known as holding together, where the power is divided among the constituents of the country or the states of the country. So a central government has divided the power into state government. Such kind of arrangement is known as the holding together federation. Example, India, Spain, Belgium. 3 list of the constitution. So we have 3 lists. Constitution has clearly mentioned the powers of the levels of government under the list. The 3 lists, namely the union list, the state list and the concurrent list. Union list has the subjects of national importance such as foreign affairs, banking, communication, currency, defense of the country. All these are of national importance. This affects the country directly. Such kind of decisions are taken by the central government. So all these topics are under the union list. Then there is a state list where the powers are given to the individual state. For example, the topics such as police, trade, commerce, agriculture, irrigation, such topics can be independently managed by the state government. So all these powers and their limitations are given in the state list. Then we have the concurrent list, where both the topics interest of both the union list and state list. So the state government and the union government both can take the action on it. Such topics are listed in the concurrent list. Topics such as education, forest, trade, marriage, adoption, all these are given under the concurrent list. So the powers, how they are divided, who has the power in which area, are clearly mentioned in the 3 list of our constitution. First is the union list, which is applicable for the central government. Then comes the state list, which is applicable for the state government, and concurrent list, which is applicable for the topics which are common for both state and central. So another question comes, that how was these states created in our country? How were these states created? So these states, majorly India's states are based on the linguistic differences. For example, people who speak different languages are given different states. So those people who speak Marathi mostly like to prefer to settle in Maharashtra, because they share common languages. Along with common language, they share common culture, common festival. So this creates a sense of unity among the people. So India decided to create states based on linguistic. So you can find that major of it doesn't mean that other languages, people who speak other languages are not welcomed in that state. It's not so. Mostly majoritarily we see that the people speaking common languages did live in the same state. So you have Tamil Nadu where people speak Tamil. You have Gujarat where most of the people speak Gujarat. You have then Madhya Pradesh where most of the speakers speak Hindi. So we have such kind of states which are mainly created on the basis of language. And apart from language, we have another characteristics, another feature under which the country is divided into states. That is the regional differences and the cultural diversity. So Kashmir, it's a region of high altitude, cold. So the geography of the state also affects the basis of the creation. For example, Nagaland, Uttarakhand and Jharkhand, these are the states with entirely different type of culture. So the states are divided on the basis of two things. Either they are divided on the basis of states, that is by the language they speak, or by the cultural and regional diversity. Moving ahead, we'll see the language policy. So India has huge number of languages. Millions of people speak different languages. So here we cannot give the credit, or we cannot be partial and declare only one language as the official language. So India has no national language. India has no national language, as we respect all the languages, but Hindi and English are referred to as the official languages. So central government continue the use of English along with Hindi for official purposes, but there is no national language. The national language concept does not exist in India because we respect all the languages, and all the people who speak different languages are equally important to our country. So center and state relations, we also saw about the coalition government, where two or three different parties who have scored minimum, but when they join their parties they form a majority, held the government. So we saw a few examples related to that. Such kind of government where two or three parties combine together to form a winning party is known as the coalition government. Moving ahead, the third level of government, we have the local government, and the local government again is divided into two types, like for urban and for the rural. Urban means cities and rural means villages. So for the rural type of government, we have Panchayati Raj. So the Panchayati Raj consists of the ward members and the head of the ward member, that is the Sarpanch. It is together called as Gram Panchayat, and many Gram Panchayat together form the Panchayati Samiti, and many Panchayati Samiti together form the Zilla Parishad. Now this kind of arrangement is for the village area or the rural area of the local. Now for the urban area, we have two types of urban means city sides. So we have two types of government. One is the municipalities and one is the municipal corporation. So the municipalities and the elections and their leaders, all these activities are taken part in towns, like which are not very big, which are more developed than village but less developed than the cities. So those are called as town. So municipalities are found in town. Their leaders are elected via elections. Individual can stand for the election. Same way, municipal corporations are done in cities, and the leader of the municipal corporation is the mayor, who is elected by the election. So with this topic, we come to the end of the chapter Federalism. I hope you enjoyed. For further reference, kindly refer the NCERT textbook. Thank you and have a nice day.